Charles Akonnor, thank you for agreeing to this interview. Could you let us know, how do you feel about being the first Ghanaian to win the Kenyan League with Gor Mahia?
Well, it feels great. I don't know. I heard there was this our legend, or one of the big guys as far as Ghana soccer is concerned, which is the name of CK Gyamfi, was once in Kenya. He coached FC Leopards.
Yeah.
So indeed, if he wins, he won the league when he was there. Then I wouldn't be the first person. However, I am happy. It's a very good job, tremendous job that we've done there. Because when we were going, we didn't know what was expected of us. There's been a lot of challenges, but somehow we managed with dedication to the job. We're very, very serious. We managed to win the league. Not to forget, in our first match we lost, which was a wake-up call for us. And so we managed quickly to, of course, understand what we have to do. The moment of time, coaching education to these boys, and also how to understand, getting close to the players. All these things were involved. And as a result of hard work, we managed to first time to win the league, which was very, very good.
If CK Gyamfi was first, that would make you the first non-Ghanaian super legend to have won the Kenyan League. And I'm sure you wouldn't feel offended at CK Gyamfi having got there first, if indeed he did. If CK Gyamfi had got there first and winning the Kenyan League, that would make you the first non-Ghanaian super legend to have won the Kenyan League. So hopefully that wouldn't feel an insult because you were beaten by one of the greatest coaches Ghana ever produced.
Yes, we are grateful. I'm not clear. I can't hear you well, but for what I understood, it feels great. It's always good, to do a good job. We realized that, at a moment of time when we were having a lot of challenges, the mentality of our players, how to even cope with the situation, we manage it well. We realize it is not about getting upset, but being patient to educate them, being patient to let them understand what we want from them was a very major key for us. The African player has a different mentality. The African player cannot be compared to even an African who grew up in Europe. So if you don't understand certain things well, you go and you will know what to do. But we managed to that, and we were very, very patient. But there's a line that has been drawn, and if you cross the line, you'll be in trouble. But within that period of time, we were very, very patient to educate them about themselves on the field of play and off the field of play. And I think, in all fairness, everything that we did paid off in a very positive way.
Why did you choose Gor Mahia? You have coached in Ghana, you've coached Asante Kotoko, even Hearts of Oak as well. You've coached at top level. Why Gor Mahia was the choice of your next team?
Well, like you rightly said, I've had a chance to coach Hearts of Oak. I've had a chance to coach Ashanti Gold, which was a big force at that time. Asante Kotoko as well. Now, of course, I've had a chance to coach the national team. So if you look at it critically, what more? What else? And it means that you wanted another challenge. I've had offers from different parts of Africa, but it wasn't a concrete one until Gor Mahia situation came. They asked me if I was interested, and I thought, yes, this is what I've been looking for. I'm looking for a challenge outside Ghana. And one key thing that I did was to take my own men, my own people to Kenya. I brought my assistant coach, I brought the goalkeepers coach, I brought the video analyst as well. And so it helped us to work not to say that if Kenya don't have it, the Kenyans don't have it, but it's a matter of trust, who to trust and who to work with. And the people I took there knew me, they knew exactly what I want, my work ethics and everything. And so it helped it quickly. And so if you ask why Kenya, I thought that it was okay what I've done in Ghana, and therefore what matters most is to go and try another challenge. And that is how we landed in Kenya.
Now, Kenya will co-host the Africa Cup of Nations with Tanzania and Uganda next year. What are your hopes, both for the competition and for the teams? I mean, I know they haven't actually completed their sort of qualification yet, but what would you be hoping for Kenyan football and East African football to come out of hosting the AFCON?
Well, I think I will talk of Kenya, but if you look within the region, Tanzania, Uganda, they are all doing well. I feel Kenya have come of age. They've improved the league. There's a little bit of money that has been put into the league. The competition is becoming very difficult this year, and all of the Kenyan football lovers confess that this has been the competitive moment league so far since they've started. And I think Sports Beza has also been a very major motivation for the league. And so they've come of age, they are doing well. I hope they will do well in this competition, because in Chan, when they hosted the Chan, the same countries, we realized that the host nations, Kenya, Tanzania, and Uganda, all did well compared to what they've done in the previous competition. So I'm hoping that especially Kenya will improve and will go beyond the quarterfinals and improve in the area of work, the work ethics. All of them will put their effort behind. The nation itself are in love with the game, and I think President Ruto has also motivated the team very well. There's a very nice, good stadium that has been built. So they are improving as a nation as far as football is concerned. And so we are believing that this time around, they'll go beyond the quarterfinals.
As you know, I have a great interest in history, including football history. And one thing I was told by the great CK Gyamfi himself, and also by Cecil Jones Atukofu and Ibrahim Sunday, is that there was a match between Kenya and Ghana after Ghana retained the Africa Cup of Nations in 1965. And the players and coaches were rather annoyed because they wanted to be at home and celebrate. This is according to CK Gyamfi. And they won the match 13-2. And Gyamfi said it was 13-0, but it was actually 13-2. And he was then told by Nkrumah, who was very angry that he didn't send them to Kenya to dismantle Kenyan football. He sent them there to make friends. And they ordered them to play another match, which ended 3-3. Have you ever heard of matches, one match ending 13-2, and 3 or 4 days later, a replay ending 3-3?
No, I've not heard that. That is a while ago, I think. And even like I told you, Gyamfi, when I didn't know that Gyamfi was even there. CK Gyamfi was there because he coached me as well as when I was one of the players, when I was a national player. He was our coach then for a short while. But I didn't know he once coached there. So back to this story, I have no idea about it.
Okay. Well, there is no question that these two results happened, that Ghana won 13-2 and then it was 3-3, and it was a question of why was there such a disparity. The Kenyans say they just improved so much, whereas the Ghanaians say it's what Gyamfi said, and this is what Ibrahim Sunday says as well. They were basically told, take your foot off the pedal and give Kenya a chance, because we want to build Kenyan football. Do you feel that it has had an effect in helping to build Kenyan football? That, that first they played against the champions, the Black Stars, then unbeatable, or seemingly unbeatable. They learned from them, and then they improved and got much better, and even managed to bring the great CK Gyamfi to Kenya to help one of the Kenyan teams, as you said, FC Leopards.
Well, I think within that era, I think Ghana was very, very strong, known as a football nation, known very well in terms of football. And so I wouldn't be surprised if indeed the president ordered them to play a match. The idea behind, and from the president's perspective, they wanted to also encourage another country to improve, to do well. And exactly that is what they did. And of course, if the Kenyans themselves even confess that, well, after that, we've had a lot of improvement and all that, then it's a good good thing to do. However, I think Kenya itself as a nation, they are trying, they are improving, they are doing very well, but they know Ghanaians as a very top notch football nation. And it means that if they want to learn, they should learn. From that time till now, if they've learned, then they have to learn more, because somehow they are still a bit behind in terms of football. But I must be honest, the infrastructure, the things they've done for football, the way they are moving, where they are moving to, the fact that they've been given a chance to host CHAN and of course the AFCON, is a good sign. And that means that they will all have to rally behind the nation in terms of football to improve every area of the game, because it's a daily job, and if you don't do it well and you sleep, you will go behind. But they are in a very positive direction, and I'm happy about that.
Again, on the history thing, did you know that in 1926, the first ever international football tournament in African history took place in Kenya? And what happened was, it later became the Sakafa Cup, and it's obviously it's the centenary this year. Kenya drew 1-1 with Uganda in the first match at the Landi Mawe grounds in Nairobi. I don't know if you visited it or not, but it's an important thing, and I will ask you to go and take your Gor Mahia players there to see the state of this ground and tell them a little bit about their own history. And then 3 days or so later, sorry, no, it was May 1st, the first match, and May 3rd, the second, Kenya won 2-1. So they are the first country in Africa to win an international trophy for African football. Did you know about this?
No idea. These are all history. I wasn't born then. And of course, sometimes it's necessary to learn. But you've called my attention, and I think I'll go back to the history books and check all this. But I have no idea.
Right. I would ask you to discuss this with me and a couple of other people as well. And when your season is due to start, just before, take your players to Landemawi grounds and tell them this story. Or if you have problems telling them the story, I can get somebody who can tell the story to them, so that they know their history and hopefully they get inspired by it.
Sure. That'll be good. That'll be good. I'm looking forward to that.
Also, as I've mentioned, it is the centenary of that tournament. It's already happened in terms of the actual date, but we want to hold a commemoration and commemoration matches. If it cannot be arranged to have the big event that we want, what about a practice match between one of the Kenyan youth teams and Gor Mahia to celebrate the 100th anniversary of the Gossage Cup, which is what it was called then?
Okay. Like I said, everything is history. I have no idea. But whoever wants to call our attention on that, I'll be willing to do it, to join it, and if necessary, join with the players as well.
Would you feel it would benefit Gor Mahia in their preparation to play a match against Kenyan youth teams, i.e. the Kenyan under-20 and Kenyan under-17, or a combination of both? One, to celebrate the Gossage Cup, but also to give both the youth team and yourselves a useful practice match.
Well, it will be necessary, but I think maybe the federation also needs to be involved with this.
Oh, definitely. I will.
This carries a lot of weight for the younger generation to know. You know, of course, I have no idea about this. Also, myself to be educated about the country and what they've done for football, Gor Mahia especially. And so it's all. We are very open. I'm very, very personally open to go with you on these things.
Okay, I will make sure you have more information about the whole thing, because it's one of my pet subjects. Now, to the World Cup, what are your hopes for the first expanded World Cup, i.e. 48 teams?
Well, I think as an African, I will speak for Africa. I hope that this time around the number have been increased to 10, and hoping that we will do something. We will have an impact on this tournament, huge tournament. As it grows older and older and older, Africa lacks impartation on this tournament. We've come a long way, and this time around, I'm hoping that Ghana, Africa, Senegal, and the rest will do well, at least get to the finals or get to semi-final. Yeah. These are some of the things that I expect from the African continent, because we've been given too many chances. We've been given a lot of chances, and this time around, the number has been increased. As an African, I want to see a team that is solid. When you look at the teams, the players and the teams, most of the players individually in their various clubs are doing very, very well. The only problem is when they come as a team, they lack that understanding, they lack that fighting spirit to get to the top. And so I'm hoping that Africa, as it stands now, as an African, that they will do well as a team, collectively, and you know, get to the level where all the world will be supported. I remember 2010 in South Africa, it got to a time everybody was supporting Ghana, because Ghana has taken the mantle. They were representing Africa, not just Ghana alone. And so I am hoping, I think Morocco also did it in the last, was it Russia?
No,
if I'm wrong, you can correct me.
Qatar.
Yeah, Qatar, sorry, Qatar, that's right, Qatar. They did well at a point in time. All the African continent were supporting them. So I am hoping that we will have a lot of impact on this tournament and do well in this tournament.
Years ago, Pele said that a African country was going to win the World Cup. He said it would happen very soon. It hasn't. When do you think an African country will finally win the FIFA World Cup?
Well, I think it will be soon. We are getting closer. I made mention of Ghana, 2010. Morocco also did well in the last World Cup. They were a semi-final, finalist, I think, yeah. And so we are getting closer. But I really, really, really want an African country team to show the signs of winning, signs of playing very well, signs of not fearing, signs of believing in themselves and working as a team together. Because most of the time, the teams that win this huge tournament is as a collective effort from everybody. You know, you look at Argentina, they won the last time. It was a collective effort, even though they had Messi. It was a collective effort. You could clearly see that people were working hard to achieve success within that moment of time. I want to see an African country that is solid, understand the moment of time, where they are, you know, that every run, every pass they give, every moment of their life, every communication in the game represent their country. And the country is also behind them. And so it is not just about them as an individual, but as a team and working hard to achieve success within for their nation. And that is what, if you see that team that is working so hard on that, there's a sign that they will go far. They will sign that they will win the tournament. And that is how I want to see an African team do in this tournament. The chance is there. The moment is there. Pele said it, but I don't think we are too far from it. But these are a few things that I think when they do, they will know. Sometimes it's not just about them, but it's about their effort of working hard for their nation. They are representing the country. And it will get to a time, as it is now, if indeed an African country gets to the semi-final, you see the whole continent supporting them. So it means that, like I said, every run they do, every pass they give, every fight, tackle they do, it will represent Africa. And the time is very, very close. I don't know if it's now, but I know that it's very close.
How do you feel about the current World Cup effectively weaponizing the use of visas to disrupt the preparations? You've had Omar Artan, the best referee in Africa, effectively prevented from refereeing, and that will affect the quality of refereeing because he is the best that Africa has to offer. Omar Artan, the Somali referee, he was denied entry to the United States, allegedly on visa issues. And then you have Thomas Partey, and you have the Senegalese, and more so the Iranians, where they have had problems getting into various countries, and that would disrupt the preparations. What do you think needs to be done to ensure that World Cups and indeed other events are conducted in a manner that gives the football teams the best opportunity to showcase their talents?
Well, I think first of all, it's wrong. The timing is wrong. Everything is too bad that the organizers or those who are in authority will look to these things that it will happen to teams and everybody. I mean, it's a little bit sad. It's a little bit disappointed. Disappointing in that manner. I think that for teams like Ghana and Senegal and others, it's a little bit weird and also bad for preparation. Because indeed, if Partey is a regular player, a very important player for the team, you've taken him out. Even though Ghana won, the plan is that Partey should start, you know, and it disorganizes the whole thing. I think there's this football thing that everybody is happy about, everybody's looking forward to it. And then there's another organization who is also disrupting what ought to be done. This is about football, it's about celebration. It's about celebration our players, and also celebrating your country, representing your country in so many ways. So it's not a good thing at all. In fact, the referee situation, even though he's from Somalia, right?
Yes.
The referee. Yeah.
Yeah.
Even
Omar
though
Artan, his name.
they don't have a football team there, he's representing his country, and that is a beautiful thing. If this single person will go out of every angle out of his country to represent his country in a different world, it's beautiful, and that means people should allow these things to happen because it's a moment of celebration. Even though it's a World Cup, everybody is celebrating his country, everybody is representing his country, and by way of doing canceling because the president doesn't have a visa or whatever, tarnishes the image of why all these things has been organized and done, and it's not a good thing. I condemn it, but I think FIFA, America should look into it and probably do the right thing. It's not the best.
Now, he had a visa. When he flew from Istanbul to Miami, he was held 11 hours and interrogated and then refused entry. He took it remarkably well and returned to Somalia and got a hero's welcome there. Various organizations reacted badly to it. Canada said he would have been welcome to come and referee in Canada, and UEFA appointed him as the referee for the UEFA Super Cup in August. So there's no question of his refereeing credentials. There's no question he had a visa. It is simply an official in Miami Airport who basically decided he was not going to be allowed into the country because there were sort of political views about Somalis by the current US government. They haven't provided any evidence to indicate that he was in any way a threat to anybody in the United States if he had been given entry. There's no evidence he would want to stay, and every bit of evidence that he would basically want to go back to Somalia and continue because he has a thriving career. He's the best in Africa. Why would he wish to put himself out of refereeing in African football matches? Basically, it's his career, and they have essentially destroyed his dream, and I would go so far as to say they have insulted the whole continent of Africa by refusing to allow the best African referee to participate in the World Cup.
Well, they don't respect that, do they? They don't respect Africa, and this is just a sign of it. It's sad, really, very sad, because if indeed somebody like him comes from Somalia, he's a hero. He's a hero. He's a hero for his country, and he works diligently. He works perfectly. Everybody knows him and believes in him. Even the fact that UEFA have even given the opportunity again to handle the Super Cup tells you America with their politics is a bit strange. Strange that is something of that sort happens. It shouldn't be accepted. It should not be allowed. And yet still, people have looked on, and it's embarrassing, really embarrassing for him as a person, for his country, and of course, also embarrassing for America not to have known what they are doing wrong. So it's also embarrassing, and it's not the best.
What do you think FIFA and football should do about the situation where this can happen, that a government of a host nation can basically say, we're not going to let your team, some of your team in, we're not going to let your officials in, and even we're not going to let referees in?
I mean, what should I say? This is something that is unacceptable. You know, it's unacceptable. Yet, America with their power and all that decides. And I'm wondering if FIFA didn't discuss these things with them before. You know, I think it has been. We knew the World Cup was happening about 4 or 5 years ago. Was these things discussed? with FIFA to America, and America, their immigration system and all those things? Was it discussed? Were they aware of the names that are coming on board? If indeed they knew what happened, because it just happened all of a sudden. Like nobody knows that this referee is coming. Nobody knows that Senegal are coming with this. So I'm wondering what went wrong. Was it discussed before? If yes, then why? If it wasn't also discussed before, why not? The whole thing is a mess up. It's a disgrace to humanity. It's a disgrace to football. It's a disgrace for development, and also where we are, year 2026, we still look at people and determine who they are when they are not. Because if you look at the incident especially with the referee, he's been looked at as if he's a terrorist or something. Somebody who is going to destroy something. The same with Partey going to Canada. He has been charged, but he's not guilty. Partey is not guilty of what they've charged him of. The case is ongoing. And so why would it happen like that? Why would he not be allowed to enter? It's all a mess up, I think. And this goes to the authorities and more so politics. So they need to look into those things. But now it's too late to rectify the mistake, because the damage has also already been done.
Do you think that FIFA needs to restore its reputation by organizing and hosting a Peace Cup, definitely not to be hosted in the United States, where various countries are invited and the power of football for positive change is properly utilized and harnessed by bringing these countries together at a tournament, and also involving referees such as Omar Artan to highlight the message that football should be about peace in the world and unity?
It is about peace. Football is meant to bring people together, not to separate people, not to differentiate who is black, who is white, who is coming from a country that is known or is targeted as a terrorist country. Football is not meant to do this and to separate people like that. It's meant to bring people together. Therefore, it's a disgrace to the authorities, a disgrace to FIFA, a disgrace also to America to have done that to a human being, somebody who genuinely coming to celebrate his work ethics, what he's done in the past of years and all those, and coming together to celebrate and also to officiate a match. So the idea, the motive behind they are representing the countries and all those has been tarnished. It's been put in a different dimension, which is not good. Very, very, very negative. And therefore, I would say organizing something to show a solidarity or whatever it is, it's okay, but they need to look at it very well in their next World Cup. If they are preparing for, they need to look at it and also have that understanding with the host nations.
Charles Akonnor, thank you very much